Welcome to another edition of Three Keys. For those who don't know about this weekly feature, we discuss three keys to victory for Texas Tech against their upcoming opponent. This week, Texas Tech has a road test at Arizona Saturday night, 10 p.m. Central Time. That game will be televised on Fox. I believe the Red Raiders opened as 5-point underdogs, either 5 or 5.5, something like that. I haven't checked today to see where it's moved, but that sounds about right. 5 to about a touchdown, honestly, is about where I could see it in terms of the line. But Monty Joe, what is your first key for Texas Tech if they're going to get out of Tucson with a victory?
Well, this may sound a little bit broad or in general, but Tech's passing game really, I think, has got to be sharp in this one. Arizona, in the back end, they're pretty good. I mean, they're at the 37th percentile nationally in pass defense efficiency, which is, I think, probably the best anybody that Tech has seen so far, and will be one of the best that Tech should see all season long. I trust Baron Morton to get the ball there. He's playing at a very high level. Surprisingly enough, I trust the offensive line to give him protection, particularly when you got Taj Brooks back there helping. But I think one of the big issues is going to be those receivers, as good as they are, as explosive and dynamic as they are, they got to hang on to the ball. I mean, that's the one bugaboo that has popped up, is a little bit too much drop passes. It really reared its head against Cincinnati last week. Fortunately, it didn't cost them the game or anything. And by the way, it's not just the receivers. Cam Dickey dropped one.
That's true.
Out of the backfield as well. Against this Arizona pass defense, the opportunities in that area are going to be somewhat limited. So you got to take advantage when those opportunities present themselves. So when the ball gets to you, you hang on to it and then see what you can do with it.
Yeah, and I think to kind of add to your point, one thing that's really been impressive to me is we've talked about, and the coaches and even Baron Morton's talked about in press conferences, that they've been so effective working in play action, working off RPO game, off of teams keying on Taj. And that's true. But to take it even further, Baron Morton has been exceptional. And I mean that on third to medium and long. And that is a quarterback stat. So it's not like teams are expecting Taj in that scenario. They know what's coming. Offensive line's holding up. Taj is helping in pass protection. And Baron Morton is just flat out executing. I can't remember if it was 10th or 11th, but Tech is amongst the very best in the country in terms of third down conversion rates. And especially Baron to Josh Kelly has been very effective. They've done a great job in terms of executing. When everybody knows the pass is coming, it's third long, you got to convert. They've rang the bell. I believe it's 53% conversion rate on third down, which again is among the best in the country and the best in the Big 12. So if they continue that will go a long way towards Arizona. My first key would be, and this is going to sound kind of weird, but they're going to have to continue to stop the run. I understand Arizona's going to be able to put up some big passing yards. The one thing, though, that Texas Tech's defense has done a pretty good job, with the notable exception of Washington State's quarterback, Mateer, going crazy, is stop the run. They've been very good. And I think, like the Arizona State win, that was the key. Like, yes, they are able to run the ball, but I didn't think they were going to be able to slow down Arizona State's rushing attack. And they did. And so, I mean, they beat Arizona State at their own game. So they need to continue that, because Arizona, if they're getting the running and the passing going, where you're just not stopping anything and you're not slowing them down in the red zone at all, you can get away from Texas Tech. So to me, they have to continue to be good in terms of run defense.
Sure. And, staying on that side of the ball for my last key is they got to limit the explosives, because, we saw what happened last week against Cincinnati. I mean, they had a scoring plays of 42 and 71 yards. They had a 36-yard run. You had multiple pass plays of over 20 yards. And Arizona is number 11 nationally in yards per play on offense, which is high.
That's a bad combination right there.
That's a bad combination. And plus, you got all these guys banged up now. Hopefully, some of those guys return, and that's going to help you in the back end. I mean, you need all hands on deck against this particular offense. So that's going to be a big deal. And, I think that against this offense, and the way you've been on defense so far, you're going to have to, dispose of your players and maybe in a less aggressive way than you have sometimes in the past. I'm not sure you can line up man-to-man and press these guys and put everybody up on the line against them. They may be going the other way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you may be seeing some more, and people are going to hate to hear this, three-man fronts and soft zone.
Yeah.
To force them to
drive
down
it,
the field and execute and do it that way. If they start breaking off chunk plays, then it could be a long night.
Well, one thing Tech has done a good job at is forced turnovers.
Yes.
I mean, they're in the top third of the country in that in that stat. So that really speaks to force teams to march down the field as opposed to obviously giving up big plays or going for it and putting your defense in bad situations. So, yeah, I agree, Monty Joe. One thing to watch out for in the secondary, Coach DeRuiter talked about it in the Monday press conference, is if they don't, and maybe even if they do get some of their guys back in the secondary, is playing A.J. McCarty and Brendan Jordan at the same time. Maybe moving one of those guys to boundary safety or just one of the other safety spots while the other guy stays at star, the hybrid, the outside linebacker safety hybrid position. So that's something to look out for. That just makes sense. Both those guys are kind of dudes. You know, they look the part, you know, athletically and all that. They've done it before. And so that, it's better than playing, which they were almost down to scout guys, true freshmen who have never seen the field before against somebody like Arizona at their place.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, get your best players out there on the field. I mean, that's always a good idea. I think they're doing that with the offensive line a little bit too.
They are.
Porsche inside, and so I think you're seeing more of that and on both sides of the ball, and that's always a good idea.
Yeah, well, those are our three keys. Monty Joe, great stuff from you as always. Thank y'all for watching, and until next time.